What's up, guys? This is Dave's Gamers Anonymous. Since I'm the drug addict of YouTube, I have my own anonymous now. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, how's it going? Frozen Magma.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, buddy. How's it going, Poppy 2K Game?
What is up there, ladies and gentlemen? This is Poppy 2K. Thanks for having me on the show there, Dave. You got me at the right time, man.
And how's it going, Thanos Salvatore?
What's up, guys? Thanks for the invite, Dave.
No problem, buddy. Like I said, I would be starting a new gaming podcast. I was planning on doing the UFC podcast today, but everybody I wanted for that I could not get a hold of, and I wanted to do my gaming podcast this week or sometime this week, upcoming weekend. So I said I'll do it today since I feel like doing a podcast. But yeah, this is the first one, Dave's Gamers Anonymous. I just thought the name would fit me because I've been in a lot of NA meetings in my life, so I was like, I'll make my own anonymous group, but about gamers. What do you call it? There's a lot of stuff to talk about because I haven't really done a gaming podcast in a long time. Oh, what's up, King Grimpachi?
Yo, what's up?
Glad to have you, buddy. Yeah, like I said, it'll be a set group of like 5 people. I was going to do 4 people, but five's a good number. Anything over that, not doing. So every week I'll have new guests on, or some people will return, whatever. But I just don't like the podcast where we're all just over talking each other and can't hear nobody. And I think it's better this way. Every podcast now, and I'm guilty for it too, I see like 10 fucking people in it just going, and it's like, I can't do that. I know some people like it. I've always felt guilty, you know, if I did, like how my podcasts become where I always let everybody join, and if I don't let people join, I feel like a bad person or something, and that's why I just done away with the Dave's Had Enough show and started this. And like I said, I just get tired of everybody over talking to everybody, and this is just, I notice people in podcasts with a small group of people, it works a lot better, I think, at least, you know. But yeah, there's been a lot of news now that I haven't done a podcast. And one more thing I'll mention, my podcast ain't going to be every week like it was. It's going to be, every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I'm just not doing a podcast to do a podcast because I feel like I have to do a podcast. I'm going to do one like when I want to talk about stuff so they're good. I'm not going to do something I don't feel like doing where it's going to turn out like shit. Not saying my podcast turn out like shit, but I don't feel like I give it my all when I don't want to do it. You know, just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be like would you agree with that, Thanos? Like, why do a podcast if you don't feel like doing one?
What was that?
Like, do you agree with that? Like, do you think people should just do a podcast just to do a podcast?
No. I mean, if you're going to hop in a podcast, you should do it because you want to have fun. Now, if it ends up feeling like a job or a chore, or you owe it to somebody or whatever, then no, you're not going to perform well.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're not if you're not on this thing to have fun, and I think it's no point to it.
Yeah.
Life is serious enough, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel guilty sometimes. I have people hit me up on PSN all the time. Are you doing a podcast? Are you doing a podcast? You haven't done
me
one
too,
in like
man.
a month.
Don't feel bad, man.
You know what I'm saying? I feel guilty about that, but I just can't do something I don't want to do. You know, and when there's nothing to talk about, yeah, I've done podcasts where we made great podcasts out of nothing, but that's hard to do all the time. You know, I mean, sometimes I feel like we're just repeating ourselves in podcasts. You know, I mean, how many times can you talk about the PlayStation Neo or the Xbox Scorpio? Even though I'm going to talk about the PlayStation Slim in this one, I haven't talked about that, but I'm just saying, PlayStation Neo, we've heard it over and over. Scorpio, over and over. The NX, that got so ridiculous after a while. There, you know, how many rumors? I even got to the point where I heard them repeat rumors. I saw IGN announcing rumors that they've already talked about, like it's new. I'm like, it's great because they're so desperate for news. Like, let's just talk about news in general. How is gaming news right now? Like, what do you guys think?
I don't know. It's kind of slow right now, man. It's like this whole eBay, like with the PS4 Slim, like supposedly out of the box, you know, it's.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's become bigger news than anything else right now lately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. The gaming stuff has kind of slowed down a little bit. I think as these games in the last quarter of the year start coming out and the other hardware announcements start, being realized or whatever, materializing, I think it'll start, getting a little bit spicier. But right now it is kind of dull.
Yeah, what do you think, King Rapachi, on gaming news in general, it being slow and then too, like all the drama that started up, like all drama going on now, like usual after E3, but it's been like this E3, it's been dead for a while. Like it's like nothing. Like, what do you think? Do you think the reason that is going on because Nintendo's situation right now with the Wii U, or like?
I mean, people do say that Nintendo moves the industry. I mean, the game, news is popping right now because No Man's Sky hate. I mean, that's there. That's a lot of that. But basically right now it's just chill. Like, the only thing I've been looking at is like Gamescom footage. Like, I've been seeing footage of Recore, and Recore seemed interesting. But now that I see more of it, I'm like, yo, I might actually get this game. Before it was just kind of like, oh, it looks interesting, whatever. But now it's like, oh, I might buy this. Like, so that's all I've been looking at is like games like Steep, the snowboarding game from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I've been looking at more of the games. I ain't even noticed if there's any. The last drama I remember seeing on YouTube is about bisexuality, and I think that's over with by now. I mean, I don't know anyone talking about that anymore. So I don't know what's going on when it comes to the drama part, but games.
No, but I'm just saying, like, drama. Like, do you ever notice after E3, a lot of drama starts up? You'll start seeing YouTubers attack each other. Like, you see with a lot of bigger YouTubers too.
Well, yeah, you see drama a lot because there's nothing like normally at the E3 and after everybody's talked about E3, normally there's nothing to talk about. But then there is drama that does happen after E3 based upon people's opinions of E3. So that does happen too. So sometimes the drama is gaming related. Sometimes it's just drama in general. I mean, but I think it's just because they don't have nothing to talk about, so they just
But now it like what was the big game after E3 last year? Was it Batman, or am I wrong? Like, what was the big, or one of the E3s? Like, what was like, what got the gaming stuff going again last year? Was it Destiny, Taken King, or?
I thought it was Street Fighter, but
Was it Street Fighter?
Metal Gear, Street Fighter.
Metal Gear, Street Fighter. Well, I'm just saying now it's like you got No Man's Sky, which.
Damn, it's been a year already. Shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying you got some people that believe that's an alright game. You got some people believe it's not. And now tomorrow you'll have Deus Ex, Mankind Divided.
Now that looks sexy. I am kind of opening up my eyes to that one. I think that might live up to its hype.
Yeah, you said you're a big fan of that series.
Yeah, the Deus Ex series is it's an amazing series. If you haven't played the Human Revolution, you should play that. It might be the precursor to this one. I don't know if it's going to be continuing on that storyline or they're just creating a whole new storyline. I haven't really kept up much to it because I don't want to spoil it for myself, but I think Deus Ex, it's going to be an amazing game. I think it's using Unreal Engine 4, right? It's an Unreal Engine 4 game.
I'm not the best person to talk about on that game because I have not. The only one I played was the Wii U version.
It's going to be amazing, I think, in my opinion.
The last one. Yeah, it got high. It's getting good ratings. It's getting good scores.
Okay, good.
I believe IGN or GameSpot, I think it was maybe IGN, I think one of them gave it a 9.2.
If it's not a 10, then at least you know it's a realistic score. Because when these games come out with 10s and 9.9s and shit like that, you start kind of questioning that.
Yeah.
The check cleared, So.
My only problem with the game, when I played the version of the Wii U, and I got it on Xbox One or Xbox 360 backwards compatible, I'm going to play it again, is when I aimed, I just didn't like the aiming of it and the controls. And that's the biggest problem I have with games. If I don't like the controls of a game, I can't get into them. That's like that's like, for me, that's real bad when it comes to games.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like this series. It's
yeah, I mean, series. Like I said, it's a sci-fi shooter, and the story behind it, the plot, the twist, all that's pretty freaking amazing. I mean, you could tell these developers they pour their heart and soul into this series. So, I mean, I was telling the guys, what was it? last week, I think, when somebody was talking about this. That I think this game is going to be, it's going to live up to its hype, and it's gonna make gamers actually want to play something.
But
Because the no man.
you know what's gonna happen, pops?
Mhm.
It's going to be a great game, right?
Yeah.
But everybody's going to, well, not everybody, but a majority of people in this fucking community, you know what they're going to do? They're going to complain and bitch and moan about the
Yeah.
FPS. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I
I
think
was gonna say that.
they had a FPS scaling on it, and it was dropping down to 24, 22, 26, and stuff like that. But even on the PC with I forgot a 1080
Does
or
it?
980 Ti, it was having a rough time, with the keeping up the consistent high frame rates. But I mean, it's
Oh,
still
they're always gonna bitch
yeah.
about something. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
So
always
the frame rates to this game is not really up to par.
I mean, it's
on both well, actually on all three platforms, PC, Xbox One, PS4, it's struggling, and because it's a really demanding
it's demanding.
graphical,
Yeah,
it's beautiful looking game. So what
Cyberpunk.
as always, they'll patch it and get the FPS up a little bit. And that's another thing I was talking about not too long ago with somebody else. It's just that's the new modern gamer. That's how we play games. We buy them broken. We play them when they're fixed later on. I mean,
Yeah, it's common now.
right? And
Yeah.
before there
Well,
was a time when people did not tolerate that shit.
Nah, back
You
in the
know why?
days, no.
You know why I think that goes on. You get like me and my brother were talking the other day of how everything has to be the new thing. Everything's the new thing now.
Yeah.
A game you get like I poured a lot of time. I realized the other day how much time I poured into UFC 2. I play that game like it's the only game I own sometimes. Like
Yeah.
nowadays, you don't really see people do that. It's like the new game comes out, the flashy new toy, it's good for a week and tossed to the side.
Well, that's why they make these games with like 3-hour single-player campaigns now, because
Well,
they
that's
know
why
that's what
they
gamers
have
gonna do to it.
it's such a high demand. These developers have to get these games out because they know people don't give a shit about them a week later. So now you're getting these fucking broken products, and
Yeah.
that's why we're getting. I think that's part of the reason. Games
Well,
don't stay relevant very long. They don't. Unless they
yeah.
have this like online that just works for everybody and they stay on it for and they have to keep the DLC going and majority of the time the first fucking map pack sucks or whatever, like the Division, I've heard a lot of bad feedback on their first paid for DLC. I don't know. Now you play the Division, Thanos and Poppy. Can you
Mhm.
guys did any of you guys play the first DLC for that or
I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't played the DLC, but well, what's wrong with it?
I don't know. They just said that there's something wrong with the ranking system. It don't carry over from your game or something. It starts you over again. I've heard
Yeah,
that.
because it's like they're adding a new game to the game itself. You're probably having to go into like some other part of the game where it loads up a whole new map and everything.
Well, I heard well, you got to think. I do agree with some people on this. If I work for like something, say I work to get up to level 30, and then that just don't matter no more. I could see where they're coming from, but it don't make the whole DLC garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, that can't just make, like, oh, it sucks now. Like,
But
oh, well.
there's people out there like myself. I mean, that I felt like the original cap was too low and it felt restrictive, and so I guess starting over and a fresh new, I guess, map or new part of the game, I guess that's a new beginning. I guess a new chapter. So I don't mind it. I'm cool with that.
My biggest, I like the Division. I'm one that
But you got to
actually.
get your skills up on that game though, because
Yeah.
there's some motherfuckers that are just nasty with that shit.
I like the Division. My only problem is, like, say you got somebody that's a higher rank than you, and you need somebody to play with, your friend's a higher rank.
Hmm.
They don't drop him down to my level against the enemies. They move the enemies up to his level, and then I'm just like a spectator then, you know?
That kind of helps the noobs though, if you think about it, in a sort of.
In
I
a
mean,
way, but
it does.
you're not
Yeah,
doing
because you don't want to
something
go
with the
OP'd. Yeah, you don't want to go OP'd and then the enemies are weak.
Because essentially, the people over at Ubisoft, I don't know about the developers per se, but they're pretty much taking what's already there. I mean, that's what they call power leveling, and like World of Warcraft, Guild Awards, Final Fantasy, Online. These are things
Yeah.
you can do where you take a lower player friend and you power level that person up to your level, stuff like
But
that.
they're
Now,
not doing that. They're not taking no. Like say I'm at a low level and I'm playing with I need a friend and he is at a high level. They don't bring him down to my level and just think I'm the guy in control. So I'm asking for help and I got him coming on my shit. They'll move the enemies up to his level where I'm just a spectator.
because because your friend is so overpowered,
Yeah.
the game will become super easy. It will
Yeah.
become pointless. He will.
It wouldn't be fun that way.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Don't you
he'll
think they
annihilate
should
everyone with one shot.
You don't think they should drop him down to your level?
No, because everything in this game, just like any other game, when it comes to like MMOs, it's a matter of balance. Now, you can have the greatest game. I mean, the Division, let's say it is perfect. Everything about the Division, hypothetically, of course, let's say everything is perfect. But if they don't get the balance of the game right, the game is ruined. The game is ruined. Just like
It's
in
all
World of
about
Warcraft.
balance. You're right. Yeah.
Right. 10 years later, a decade later, and they're still balancing each class. You know, because every single it's like Street Fighter. One move
because the
can
style of
change the entire
gameplay,
thing. Yeah.
the way people play and adapt to the gaming situation, the CPU is only coded to perform in a certain way. So
Right.
in order for them to keep the challenge up for others, so they don't exploit the game,
Yeah.
they adopt new ways or new mechanics or new coding.
And that's why, Pops, I think that because these games are really complicated as far as the structure, the size of the world, the missions, all the shit you can do, there's no way that they can play every single scenario.
No, there's billions of lines of code, man. I think
Yeah.
Crisis was the original billion coding game there was, and they've just increased tremendously over the last.
Yeah, especially a multiplayer game. So I think
exactly.
they have to use us. They have to use us for beta. There's no other way possible.
That's what they did with Titanfall 2, right? They basically were playing a beta. You saw it, tech test, whatever it's called. You're basic what you're doing when you're playing that game, how you play or you perform the mechanics in that game. You're basically what you're doing. You're giving the developer that data to utilize in their balancing, because the game is done. They just got to balance it. That's what they're doing, and that's what they're going to continue doing with games like the Division. I think that series has legs. It does. It's a tremendous game.
Overwatch is another one. That game, it might be really fun to play, whatever, but if any one of those characters are not in tune, if they're not balanced, people are going to choose the most overpowered one. They're going to choose the one that
they want an
unfair
edge
to others. Yeah, they're always going to do that. So they constantly have to patch it and balance each character. You know, because same thing with Doom. I think the shotgun was severely overpowered. You know, so they can patch that and make it a little bit more powerful. It's a matter of balancing.
One thing I want to talk a little bit about Overwatch here in a second, and then back to the Division. What's the problem with the Division and the Dark Zone that people are saying that it's fucking broken? What is it? What do these people got an edge going on that they're doing something to keep in there? That they said the game's corrupted. Did they ever fix that or?
Oh shit, Pops. I mean, like, damn. One of the thing. Oh, the gate. One of the biggest issues is that people were cheating very early on.
Yeah, they had an edge early on. They figured it out.
Yeah, and so
they got that edge. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were cheating, and people who wanted to play and just grind their way to the top. By the time you reached a certain level, you were already fighting guys that were 3 or 4 times more powerful than you. You know, and I did look it up on YouTube, like for hints, and all there was were glitches. How to glitch through a wall so you can beat this boss with 1 or 2 hits and get right. So a lot of people were doing those things. But they also had to take into consideration how we play the game inside the Dark Zone. And the only way to do that is to wait and see how we're reacting, to hear our gripes and complaints, and then they adjust the game according to those complaints. Now, have they heard all those complaints and adjust the game and fine-tuned it by today? That I don't know. I don't know because I just got it on PC, and I put 46 hours into the PC, and my gear score is 151, 157, and I'm about to go into the dark zone pretty soon. But I haven't played the Division in months on the Xbox One, so I don't know what it's like.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, but I'm about to re-enter on the in the dark zone pretty soon on the PC, and let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm at the last mission of the main story of the Dark Zone. I'm a level or the of the main game. I'm a level 26. I got back into it. I like it. I'm not good enough to be in the Dark Zone yet. I guess you have to be a level 30 because I just get fucking killed when I go in there. So I'm just waiting to finish the game, and I want to play the DLC because I got the season pass. But I like the Division. I know a lot of people have their gripes with it, just like they do with Destiny. I mean, I think it's a good game.
That game is a fun game playing with others. If you play by yourself, it's not as engaging.
Yeah. You do a lot of duck and cover, and you're shooting. It reminds me a lot of Gears of War in a way, but you're not fighting monsters. But I like that shit. I like Gears of War. I don't care. I think it's fun, and I like the RPG aspect to it.
When I was playing the Division, something occurred to me. I don't know how this topic came up, but I started dwelling on it for a while, and I just get the feeling that today's gamers. Now, it's not, I can't say you guys because we're not common. We're higher up there as gaming, but the common guy, the common gamer, the guy who does the common complaints, or the person that does the common complaints. None of these people want to work for anything anymore. They just want everything given to them. They're so used to having the game dumbed down for them. For instance, today, I didn't know this because no one mentioned it until I saw a video on it where on No Man's Sky, you cannot fully take control of your aircraft because the guy was trying to crash on the mountain on a mountain, and the autopilot kicks in and takes that away from him. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's like, let the guy make the mistake if he wants to. Why you have to hold his hand the entire time through the whole fucking game?
Call of Duty.
Yeah, right.
Call of Duty, that's what it is, man. I mean,
now with No Man's Sky, I was getting the impression I can get my spacecraft and go wherever I want, land wherever I want, as long, you know what I'm saying?
The lies.
That's not how it is, right?
No.
That's not.
You can go. Well, you can go to any planet you want. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, but you can't like I was getting the impression I get my spaceship, I'm in control of that spaceship, where it lands, where I want to go, and it's
I think you can land anywhere you want, but that has its issues. But as in Thanos is right. There is some type of autopilot where, you can't just crash into nothing. I don't think it will let you do that. You can't do stuff like that.
So how come the PC version is like more expensive than the PlayStation version? I was looking at it.
$59.99.
No, I was looking at it on the G2A, and it was cheaper on the PlayStation 4. I don't know.
Oh, that's probably depends on the seller.
Oh.
But MSRP is still 50.
Yeah. So you guys wouldn't recommend getting that game until they fix it? Is what you guys saying?
I mean, if you don't like that style of game at all, then
I mean, I'm cool with those. I like those little adventure, like searching for minerals and shit like that. I'm kind of geeky.
Yeah, but
like
we were talking earlier about Elder Scrolls, and you said that game is a very lonely game. I'm thinking this would be really lonely.
You think this is no? It didn't. Aren't you able to like meet with people and shit in the spaceship?
No.
What the fuck?
The lies.
No.
These
motherfuckers, they sold me a bag of fucking tricks, man.
They had it out to be like it would be hard to meet your friend, like me and Grim were playing. It would be hard to do that, but it could be possible. Now all of a sudden,
it ain't possible at all.
People have done it. It ain't going on.
Yeah, man, that's disappointing. Are they gonna patch that shit in, or is it?
We don't know
like,
because
I kind of get the feeling like they sent out the basic game, right? They sent out the skeleton version and shit, and they said we'll add the organs and the skin later on, but it's got to sell.
Well, in certain countries they removed the online capability. They tried to remove it off the box. So are they even going to add it if they're trying to remove?
Oh, they put a sticker over it, right, Grim?
Yeah, trying to cover up that it has some online. So if they're going to add it later, I don't know why they would try to remove the fact
So
that
you
it's
can't
there.
communicate with anybody, anyways. You just said it's out in space by yourself and shit.
Well, I already know that the PC guys, they're already on it. They're already coming out with mods already.
It's already been
Instantly.
modded. Nice.
Yeah. It already makes the game better already.
Wow.
Giving options that are not even there, So
Sweet. Is sweet effects on that thing yet?
I would imagine so.
So let's be fair. Nobody in here. I haven't played it. Has anybody in here
No,
played
I
it?
haven't played it. Dave told me
No.
not to buy it. Dave said don't.
No, but I just don't. I don't want somebody
I'll
saying
be
in the comments,
lonely.
"Oh,
The PC lonely race even lonelier. God damn.
people say, oh, you can't talk about this because you don't own it." I got told that with
What the
I buy
fuck?
every fucking game that comes out. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
buy
that's
a
true.
fucking game I know fucking sucks. I mean, I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. And I give my opinion. I've watched Bear Hugger play it enough. I've watched other streams. The game
Yeah.
looks fucking boring. And that is. They say, why is it boring? Why is it boring? It looks. I mean, it just don't look fun at all. That's
Wow.
to me.
And it's coming from guys that just started gaming like 2 years ago, right? That's
Right.
funny.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys that, and then the ones that are defending it are the ones that bought it, and then you don't see them playing it that much. The only one, to his defense, I see Bear Hugger playing it. I have to give him that. I
Well,
see
you
him.
gave him what, a month?
I'm giving him a month. I'm holding it to it. And I'll be there with a video if he's not. He knows it. That's why he's on that shit.
But that's a game that it constantly creates new planets and worlds and shit like that. So it doesn't get old, right?
Yeah, but like Poppy, it has a set of things already made, and it's like throwing it into a thing that's scrambling it around, and it's going to remake. It's not like it's making nothing like really new. It's just working with what it has. Am I correct?
It's like Minecraft. Like
Do you make your own planets?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like Minecraft. It's like every time, Minecraft, each world you make or start up is different, but it still looks like every other world you've ever been in.
Yeah, it's just you might see this tree over here. There's one over there. It's the same tree over there. I mean, that's the problem. That's what I had with it. It's not like I said in my video, it's not like the developer went into The Witcher and built all that shit. This thing's just working with what it's got, and it's regenerating it. It's going to move that tree over there, that thing over there. It's the same shit every planet, different spots.
Dave, but here is the really important thing, at least in my opinion. The really important thing is that No Man's Sky does well and becomes successful. It's very important because the algorithm, the idea of No Man's Sky is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. I like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, if someone else can take that idea, that algorithm, and make a phenomenal game. Imagine playing The Witcher 4 with that algorithm. Every land you've ever visited is constantly different. Every time you log into a game, it is completely different. Depending on the right circumstances, of course, and the design of the game, of course, that's going to really matter. But it also sends a message to indie developers. You know what I mean? It's like, look, it's not you don't have to charge $4.99 for your game. Just make a really good game, and you can become successful. Or the idea of a game becoming successful.
Yeah.
Pass that torch, because developers do that all the time. These companies, they borrow from each other and they make it better the next time around. So hopefully, and I think it's been doing well. I can't call anyone or anything on it, but I think it's been doing really well in sales. So hopefully that would inspire a new team or a little indie developer or even a big AAA publisher or developer. And hey, we can take that idea and inject it in this game that we're working on. So that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on
Good
that.
point,
It does inspire people. That's good. I do agree with you on that for sure.
Or we can get Call of Duty again. It's up to you.
But it goes back to what you were just saying, Thanos, that these gamers nowadays they don't see the silver lining on these type of decisions these developers make with these games, because this is an indie developed game. It doesn't have to be indie 2D graphics. They made an amazing engine. I don't know if it's proprietary or not, but the game itself evolves as you play, I guess, and if they just keep adding to it, it's got the basic the basic foundation, so they can build on it for the future.
Yeah.
Well, like games today, how they're being developed, and I heard someone, I don't know if I read this somewhere or heard somebody say it, but games back then were completely different because for one, they were very hard. But today, developers understand that many people come home from work and they don't want to grind, no, 9 hours. They don't want to spend hours and hours searching and reading and comprehending shit like that. They just want to have a good time. They want an in and out experience. Um, and that's what a lot of these games are becoming. And in order for them to do that, they really do have to make these games.
Hmm.
I hate to say the word because it's so over abused, but they have to make the game somewhat casual.
Well, you gotta think. You gotta think. When I was, whenever you're like, some girls don't. I like the main topic of this podcast is kind of to do with the whole thing with, are you a loser for being a gamer? Because I didn't get in on that subject till later. I thought that was a real good video, solid Rev made about that. But I want to talk a little. I want to save it for later. But I do want to touch on something you just said. Some girls don't like games. Like they don't. They think it's like,
Weird.
it's you're geek for doing it or whatever. But nowadays it's kind of more accepted than how it used to be.
Yeah, it's more part of our culture now.
Yeah, it's like everybody and their brothers playing games. Look,
Yeah,
like I said,
you got a cell phone. You have a gaming device. In your
yeah,
pocket.
like people are getting into gaming there's so many different ways now, like cell phones. Everybody has cell phones and they're playing Candy Crush or something. And then they get curious. And they're like, oh, well, maybe that, the girl might be thinking, maybe I always thought that Xbox shit was kind of nerdy. I'm going to give it a try because I like this game on my cell phone,
Well, that goes back to the Pokemon Go. The people that played Pokemon Go on their phone went and bought the damn 3DS and the games on it.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a 200% surge in July for those games. And if you know anything about Pokemon, that shit sells. It's like crack. The motherfuckers, they fiend for that shit.
Work, I'm telling you, we work like in the downtown Kingsport area. Like you'll see people there at fucking 8 in the morning looking for Pokemon. Not now so much, but when
What are you looking for, man? What are you looking for?
Well, I don't know who said it, but somebody said that Pokemon did more for children than Michelle Obama ever did in 8 years in office. I was like, oh shit,
that's fucked up.
that's true though. Oh shit.
Going back to Overwatch, I actually gave it a shot the other day. I played it when I first got it about 3 times. Didn't really give it a shot. Last night I gave it a shot. I really liked that game. I messed with the Gorilla Winston. I like the abilities you get to do. You have to learn what character. That's a good game. And the one thing I like about the game, if they're still doing it, how, if people cheat like we were talking earlier with a division, they'll like ban their ass.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for somebody to play with because I ain't got nobody to play with.
I got it on the PlayStation. I'm down for everyone.
I got it on the PC, so.
Everybody's on different.
Now, Grim, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, Overwatch, that's a MOBA, right?
I don't know.
No, it's first person.
No, what the fuck?
No, I'm saying no, because they said it wasn't. The developer.
I don't know.
Blizzard?
Yeah, I mean, I think like when I first saw it, I saw that it reminded me of one, but I mean, the developers say it ain't one. Then I guess.
Yeah.
It's a first-person shooter, and you pick your like everybody can pick the same characters no matter what team, but they're just like you're a different color, I guess, or something like that's how it is. I'm colorblind, so it's hard for me to really tell, but it's the same characters. And it's a really good game. Like they added that new character. I can't think of the name. I think it's another sniper. But everybody has. I think you have 4 abilities, and you have to be like a person that heals people. You have to have them on team.
Yeah,
if you have a balanced team of good people that are playing with what they're good at, you'll do good.
I'm not gonna lie, man. The whole CGI like character stories that sold me on that game.
Well, you had to get the story. You have to go on YouTube and stuff. You get it from the videos. It's not too much in the game.
I wish they would have done that in a game. Like, gave you a whole like.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fine with it. I mean, the gameplay itself is good. I like it. It's a different type of first-person shooter, and that's why it's doing so well.
Yeah. Well, Overwatch is it's basically just. I mean, console guys would call it multiplayer game. It's not. It's a PvP.
Guys.
Yeah, it's a PvP game, So and that's like 90% of the game. It's PvP, and I think then if it's not considered a MOBA, then I guess that's their answer towards Team Fortress, If you play that, right?
That's
Pops?
what I think it is. Yeah, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
Team Fortress clone,
Yeah.
Blizzard
so-
style. Blizzard style though.
Well, it's Blizzard's first-person shooter, and they did successful with it. It did really good, you know.
Yeah.
Man, Activision just raking in the dough with the first-person shooters.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. I mean, let's talk about the first-person shooter genre in general. You know, Titanfall 2, the beta came out. I'm sure a lot of us played that, I think, in here.
The Titanfall 2 beta?
Or alpha. Or
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't even know that was out.
Oh, you didn't play the stress test or whatever?
Yeah,
Is
it was a test.
Is it for everybody?
The tech test.
Oh,
Yeah.
Titanfall 2. I'm slow. I thought you were saying damn. Destiny. I don't know why I was thinking about Destiny in my mind. Yeah, I played.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, I play, like, somebody, I'm not going to say their name because I'm not taking shots at them. It's somebody I play games with. He messages me, and he goes, he says, what do you think about Titanfall? I said, it's good. I'll probably end up getting it. He goes, it's revolutionary. You know,
Get
it's
the
this.
fuck
And
out
I'm
of
like,
here.
I'm like, wait a second. I'm
How
like,
is
it's the same
the
fucking
same
game
game.
on Xbox that everybody attacked for bots. Now everybody loves it on
No, it's the
PlayStation.
same game.
Like,
It's
come
the same
on.
game. The animations and everything's the same.
Come on.
Thanos, you're not gonna like it, man. I don't know. You might like the single player.
The shooting
Thanos, like, I downloaded 100 gigs and that shit was boring as fuck.
No, but don't you guys think it's funny how it's the same game that pretty much is on Xbox, but you got grappling hooks now. They hated it then, but they love it because it's.
I mean, what's going to be funny is everybody that says, "Oh, we're tired of Call of Duty because it's not boots on ground," they're going to buy this, and it's basically
and
the same thing.
a lot of people that I talk to, especially like my brother, feels like he got Titanfall when it first came out. He says it's a Call of Duty ripoff.
I think between those two, they're gonna split the basis this year because it's a similar style of gameplay, right?
It's good. I like the shooting. The shooting's
I mean, how
good.
much more like jumping off walls and space shooting?
It feels like Black Ops. That's what it feels
Like,
like.
Well,
yeah.
you know you got the zombies in space now too.
Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here!
they
They
revealed the trailer the other day. Zombies.
like floating and shit. Like,
They
They're-
did a zombie in space a long time ago, though. So
No, but they're dancing now. They do they're.
but I'm not gonna lie, that zombie shit on the Call of Duty was pretty fun. I played that with Greggy.
I
man.
play zombies a lot lately at my brother's house with my nephew. That's all they like to play is local play zombies, and it's fun. I do like it. I like it. I was out of it for a while, but I played a lot of like Black Ops 2. Like they like that version of it. But I don't know. It's zombies in space now. They got that. But just like let's talk about like first-person shooters in general. Do you think that genre is hurting, or do you think it's doing good?
Can I go
Oh,
first on
man.
this real quick? Can I go real quick on it? I'm not a big first-person shooter guy. I'm usually like one of those, fantasy style, RPG adventure type game kind of person. But I'm gonna go say that I think they've actually evolved it somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, over the last few years, I'm talking about like last 2 or 3 years, they've really evolved the first-person shooter. They've added more RPG elements to the game. I think that's really giving people an incentive to keep playing. Like look at what they've done with Call of Duty with all the perks and the loot and all the stuff that you get from playing those games. You have an incentive to keep trying to play, so you can collect gear, you can collect scores, you can collect more items and stuff to beef up your character, and that's an RPG element if you think about it. That's it. That's all I have to say on that.
Okay. What about you, King Rabachi? Do you think the first-person genre is doing good right now? Not like I'm not talking with like sales of Call of Duty, but I'm just saying, do you think it's as good as it was when it went like as it used to be, or you think it's kind of like fighting games where it's kind of getting a little stale? That's all.
I mean, it really just hasn't changed. Nothing.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Pretty much the same as it used to be. I mean, I don't feel fighting games are stale, but I know like as in maybe popularity, they're not as popular as they used to be. But yeah, just like fighters, I don't feel fighters have changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
shooters
that's
are
what I'm
the same
saying.
way.
You think like they evolved? Are they like? Is it like when you get on a shooter? Do you think, oh, this is something so refreshing? This new game of Call of Duty.
No, it's more like what type of shooter you play. If you play Call of Duty all the time, if you go play Battlefield, it's gonna feel refreshing. If you play Battlefield all the time, then you go play Call of Duty, that's going to feel refreshing. It's not really like the game is different. It's just whatever you play the most of. If you go to something else, it's going to feel a somewhat different, and you may want to be on that for a minute and bounce back and forth. But it's not like you're playing a new thing. It's just feels a little different than before.
All right. What about you, Thanos?
The genre itself, to me, is irrelevant. What is important is the game fun. Because if you was to show me Half-Life 3, I couldn't give a fuck less if it was another FPS. It's Half-Life 3. Battlefield 1 looks absolutely mind-blowing. It looks amazing. It looks like it's going to be a fun game, and that's a FPS. So to me, it's not about the genre of the game, because a genre is just a genre.
Mm-hmm.
What is important is how well that game is able to execute that genre or that particular genre. Well, I think I could be mistaken here, but a game that's I would consider a new genre is MOBA. And I've played MOBAs. Not all of them are the same. I like League of Legends more than I would like, let's say, Battleborn or whatever that game's called.
Battleborn.
Or the other one with the gods of Zeus and shit, like Smite.
Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, Heroes of the Storm. So to me, it's not really about the genre. It's about the game that's able to execute that genre properly. Like Pop said, they're really adding an RPG element. They're trying to make an incentive for you to keep coming back.
Yeah, they are.
And I think that's one of the things that separated Call of Duty from just being another first-person shooter, is that what is it called when you have multiple lineups or gear sets of characters? Not play sets, but profiles of.
Yeah, the gear.
Yeah. Which that kept me coming back because I wanted to continue to progress. It was the progression that I was addicted to. And besides, the game was fun. I mean, Black Ops 2 was a blast to play.
I mean, going back to the Division, isn't that why the Division is such a blast? Because there's so many different ways to customize your character.
Because essentially, the Division is essentially an RPG game that's with guns.
Yeah, it's pretty much it is. Yeah.
Yeah, in the city,
that random element of augmenting your character and improving your skill sets and your loadouts or whatever. I think if they keep improving on that and adding more elements of that, then you might not see games like the Elder Scrolls in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These might be the new third-person experiences that you're used to. Because I mean, that's all that's ever been missing if you think about it. I mean, you can only I don't know. I haven't played Doom. How's Doom? Did they evolve that, or is it still the same?
It's still the same.
Shit. Oh.
The single-player campaign was good. But the multiplayer was still kind of the same. I didn't find it much different, but you could.
Well, I was going to pick it up the other day, but I was down.
I mean, the single player is really good, but if you're going into it looking for a multiplayer experience like most people would with Doom, you might like it because you're just a big Doom fan. But I don't know. I didn't see it to be much different from the other ones. I just think the single player campaign was fun. I liked it. I just enjoyed it. I thought it was good. One thing about Titanfall. What are your guys' thoughts on Titanfall? Did you play this as a test or?
Go ahead.
I played it. I'm not really into first-person shooters. I played it because it was free. I think it's okay. It's more like Black Ops in my opinion, and
oh shit!
I feel like it's going to suffer with all those games coming out. Battlefield, Titanfall, Gears, all those games are going to be out like around the same time. So.
Well, it did feel a lot like Black Ops in ways to me.
And you had a whole bunch of campers and stuff. Like the camping's never going to go away, and there was plenty of it in that game.
Yeah, I mean, they say there's less spots. I didn't get to play the actual Titan mode. I just played the pilot mode. When I went back to play it, the beta was over.
Somebody was saying that there wasn't enough Titans in it. I saw maybe one Titan at a time.
The Titan is now like a kill streak. It's not like where you can do it before.
Okay, so
Is that good or bad? You guys think? You think it's better to get a kill streak to get it, or they should just be available?
I think they're gonna patch it in.
Oh,
They might have a mode.
Patch
They might have a mode where you can. Get,
I think they're gonna patch it in.
Titans.
Did you guys play the first Titanfall?
No, I didn't play it.
Yeah.
I played
Well,
it.
like Titanfall 2 literally is Titanfall 1. It's
Yeah,
no
it's-
difference at all.
With grappling hooks and less bomb.
I mean, it's honestly Titanfall 2 is Titanfall 1 with slightly better graphics and some new gadgets. It's
I don't-
like the Titans
Now-
are the same.
Now,
Everything
Grim,
is the same.
You said slightly better graphics. A lot of people are saying that the graphics aren't really much better. Like, not at all.
No,
the
the graphics look a little bit better than they did before. Yeah.
The textures were kind of low quality, so it's not like a 4K high resolution 1080p game. It's gonna be your standard, low res textures and nice lighting effects and same character models that you had in Titanfall.
Like someone said that the Titans are not like kill streaks. I mean, they were like that in the first game.
Well, they said it was like easier to obtain.
They said it was
It actually take longer to get a Titan than it normally
the
does.
first one.
The first one was quicker. Well, maybe because one of the modes that you can have Titans in don't have bots in the mode. One of them does, and then the other one doesn't. So that could be it. Like you were probably killing a lot of bots. That's why you get your Titan quicker. But if you're just killing players,
So
Yeah,
did you
thanks.
like Titanfall there, King? Were you
yeah, I
a
like Titan. I mean, it was
Oh,
fine.
okay.
It's
So
a
you
smart
got a
picture,
little-
John.
Well, it wasn't like mind blowing, but it was fine.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't get to play the Titan mode. I only got to play the pilot versus pilot. Now, in the old game, I played with the Titans, and I thought it was cool. But this one, I didn't get a chance to try it. When I went back to the beta, it was done Sunday night.
So did they get rid of the bots?
No, the bots are still there. There's just not as many.
Like there's they didn't have a mode where the bots are just there. They had hardpoint, which is just players and no bots. I don't think it's any. I didn't notice any.
There was
bots.
one option that said AI, so that must have
Yeah,
been.
that mode is kind of interesting. It's kind of like
That's probably the bounty hunting mode or whatever.
yeah. And that mode is basically like different objectives pop up on the map. It's almost like similar to what's that mode in Halo 5? That Warzone thing. It's like Warzone, but 10 times better and
I
faster.
never played Halo 5.
Well, Warzone was like this mode where like you fought other people, but then every now and again some AI would pop up. That's kind of how that was.
Now, Titanfall's last problem was the ranking system. It didn't go up high. You think they'll fix that this time around?
I don't know.
Because that was the big problem. People said you were already top ranked right away, and it wasn't fun. Like that was.
I had a problem with the lack of customization. You know what I mean? Like, you were done with developing your character really quick.
Oh, okay.
Like after 2 weeks, the game.
Yeah,
got
I heard
stale.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the ranking system was like 30 or something, or so. It was real low, and it didn't go up high enough that you were at that rank right away. I don't know if it was 30 for sure, but it was real low. And like Thanos just mentioned, a lot of people didn't like the whole thing about developing your character. It wasn't much when you got everything going and you played it, put a little time into it. It was like there you were at the top already. Like people, maybe they have to do a better ranking system.
Dave, do you think that Digital Foundry kind of takes away some of the steam from these games, or you think they kind of?
I do.
Do you think they serve a purpose to help the gamers out?
I think they hurt the games because people.
Really?
Well, no, people all care about frame rates. Now, I understand you guys caring about frame rates because you're PC gamers, but why the fuck does a console gamer? Most console gamers didn't even talk about all this shit, resolution and frame rates, until like.
Shit, I used to play GoldenEye. That shit had like 8 frames per second, son.
I'm just saying, like the other day I was.
And that shit was a blast back in the day.
I was playing the Force Unleashed 1 the other day, the first Force Unleashed 1, and the frame rate gets so bad in this that it slows down. And it's like slow motion. Now, if I see newer games doing shit like that, then I'd have a problem. But as long as they run, I'm fine. But when it slows down like this does, I don't care because it's a 360 game. I put up with it. But if a newer game's doing that, that's an issue.
So you think they should put like a counter on it, like a frames per second counter?
I never heard anybody talking about it like they do. We're like PC gamers on consoles. If you want a PC gaming rig, go get a fucking PC. That's what Like, tell these people they shouldn't be on consoles because they know how
Yeah,
consoles are.
it's
You
like
know?
Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry is nothing more than just data. It's just
That's
information.
all it is.
The problem is how people perceive the information. That's the
IGN.
and this is and then on top of that you got another problem. Fanboy.
Yeah.
They're the ones that make that 27 versus 26 into a big deal.
Yeah.
See, so that's why I say it's very important that you never have that conversation. Never fall into that conversation of fanboyism because it's an ism and all isms are bad,
Hmm.
you know?
Like, I have a
So,
question, Thanos. You like playing on PC, and it's for Poppy too. Does it bother you that the Xbox One's resolution is a little bit different than the PlayStation's version? Is that a big deal?
No.
Like, resolution is resolution that big of a deal? Like, people make it out to be. Like, to me, like, when a game has lower resolution on the Xbox, it's like the game's completely discredited. Oh, junk. Like, I don't look at it like somebody was messaging me the other day about Titanfall. They asked me, "Are you gonna try the Xbox version of it too?" I said, "No, I'm gonna play either or. If I get it on Xbox, I play it on Xbox." When I got the Doom on the Xbox, people were like, "Ha ha, why'd you do that?" And they're sending me like, "Oh, it's this 100p on this, and it's this 100p on the PlayStation." I don't give a fuck. I play on a 720p TV. I could care less. Like, it don't.
that's that's the thing. It's a preference, Dave. You know, no one can ever tell you your favorite color, bro. They can't. You know, it's a preference. But I'll tell you this from experience, when you do game, I know I tease PC games, you know, PC gamers a lot, you know, the broken, lonely PC master edition and shit like that. But when it is working, there's nothing like it. So when you're used to playing 60 FPS, everything maxed out at 1080p or 2K or 1440p, and you play that for a while, and then you hop on the Xbox version, you see it right away. You're like,
Oh,
oh shit. You see it right away, and I know that because I just did it with the Division.
Yeah.
Well, you
The
got
quality is just like the
Yeah,
character models,
you
the
you
lighting.
you
There's no
notice it, yeah.
anti-aliasing.
Well, I can
No,
agree with you on that, Thanos, but people hopping over from the PS4 to the Xbox One and don't even fucking PC games seeing a big difference? Come on, I don't know.
no. I'm telling you right now, it is very hard. Well, it depends on your vision for one, because you do have to have kind of a maybe Pops has it too, where you have to have like a trained eye to
Mm-hmm.
notice those pixels and shit like
Hmm.
that. It's just some people are really anal about their video quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen video quality at 1080p, 60 FPS on YouTube, but I still can see all the boxes all over the place. That's because they rendered the video in a really low bit rate, like
Hmm.
8,000 or 6,000 bit rate. Some guys are anal. They're like, fuck it, I want my bit rate to be at 50 million. You know, they want a really high bit rate so that video looks beautiful, looks really nice and crisp. And when you're used to seeing videos really high and crisp and you go back to a low bit rate video, you can tell instantly. And some people don't mind. You know, Bear Hugger is a guy that always have said he does not care about graphics, right? And the shit is, he plays games that look like utter shit. So he's a man of his word. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Pixel Boy. Yeah.
but that's
Yeah,
that's
he
the thing.
plays. He'll play like bowling. What's that bowling game he was playing? He breaks shit. Like, he plays anything. Like,
Yeah. He Barbie's
on it.
Adventures and shit like that.
But this is the part. I fucking envy that though. I wish I can play every game the way he does. You know what I mean? I wish I can enjoy games like that.
Bear Hugger also has this thing. He'll get on a game he's playing, talk a great spokesman. Off
Stop
that
it.
fucking game up, and next week he's playing something else. That game's nowhere to be found no more. Like, what the fuck?
Everybody's got a different type of OCD. Thanos
Yeah.
doesn't like
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is a
boxes.
Bear Hugger is
Bear doesn't like to play a game more than a week.
Bear Hugger is a gamer, and I'll never take that away from him. That motherfucker games. Like, I give
He
it.
puts it up, man. I'm not
I
gonna lie,
fuck with him,
man.
but he games.
When I wake up in the morning, I see like 10 videos from like fucking Bear with like different games and shit.
Yeah, like how many people are still playing Uncharted 4? Right?
The glitch group, probably. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh shit.
Well, I ain't saying shit, but not that many as they used to be.
No,
You
it
know.
died
Doesn't
out.
that have like a multiplayer to it?
Yeah, it's a multiplayer.
So what are they playing now then? The waiting game?
I see some people playing. I see like Shockwave. He plays it. Jack Moves Johnny. He plays
Yeah, I see Jack Moore play it.
hardcore. There's some people plays it
Yeah.
still, but it's not as big as it was.
What
No.
about that? The Last of Us. People still playing that shit?
Last of Us, that game, I'm telling you, people played that for a while. That game.
That needs to come to the PC, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I played that
No,
shit.
you can't take that away from The Last of Us. There's still people as they play that game, not as like they were, but that game carried from PS3 to PS4 and was still strong. That
I'm
game.
just waiting for my PS4 Slim from eBay and shit to come in.
Yeah. Well, and one more thing, I want to go back to another topic before it just came into my head. I kind of went blurry when I was talking about something Thanos mentioned, and I got it back. It came back to me. Thanos mentioned something about people, how they come home from work and with like RPG type games, they don't have that much time to put into a game.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. I used to be like that. Back in the day, I didn't have the time to like pour all that time into a single player game. I like the single player games that were 20 hours, 30 hours, and you were done. Now that I have a lot of time because I have no life up here, I'll play a fucking RPG. But back in the day when I had a lot of shit going on, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't.
Don't you think they've kind of alleviated some of that because of the random or the constant saving? I mean, they always have the background save.
Yeah.
So you're not really worried about losing your save data anymore like you used to back in the day.
A game like Fallout and Elder Scrolls Online, you're gonna pour a lot of time into those games.
Yeah, those games, majority of these games now they just auto save. So
Yeah, even with the auto save, it's a lot of time, man. That's a lot of time.
no, but you're right. It is a lot of time. You got to dedicate.
And most chicks aren't gonna put up with some dude playing that all day.
Have you guys played any of the Mass Effect games?
I played the third one on the Wii U.
1, 2, and 3. I played all 3, and I could tell you those games are highly, highly demanding on time.
They're long games.
Yes.
Right?
But it's
A lot of dialogue.
It's a treat because obviously at the end of the game you feel like you've accomplished something, but overall in the game itself, the experience that you amass from grouping all these different party members to help you in your mission. I mean, the game takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time and effort, and those are the type of games that, like you were just saying, Dave, we're not going to see those as much in the future, I think. Dragon Age as well.
Yeah, Dragon Age, right? I was just gonna say Inquisition or Dragon Age, yeah.
I mean, Dave, you need you need to put in a lot of time in these games, and I still hope for those games to continue to come out. They may be trickled here and there, but whatever, the Ronald Reagan effect. But
What about that Wii game? That Wii U game? Shit.
which one?
Tokyo Mirage.
Tokyo
Like
Mirage, that's it?
Yeah, I got 100 hours in that game.
The one that like you're 40 hours in and you just get the mech.
Oh, Xenoblade, yeah, Xenoblade.
That's another one that's what, 150, 200
Yeah.
hours.
They don't make.
A lot of hours in one game. That's a lot of hours in one game.
Yeah, the Phantasy Star series, those type of games that you got to put in a lot of time,
Mhm.
But that might be the only game you're playing at that time,
That's why I play games like that, because I'm not playing games like that for now. I'm going to play those games forever.
Unless
Those
you're
are
Bear
games I don't
Hugger,
gotta
he'll
worry
finish
about
it in
it,
like 2 days and shit.
Yeah, but the point of the argument is saying, like, if you have a chick that ain't going to put up with that shit, they ain't going to let you sit there and pour 150 hours into a game. Now, when you're married like Poppy and I believe Thanos is married, sometimes the girls, they don't give a shit. You're married, but, like, most chicks, like, that I've been with, they wouldn't deal with that shit. You'd be like, damn, he's playing fucking this game forever. Like, guys that play World of Warcraft that just lose track of life.
Yeah, that's my wife. Dude, I haven't had dinner in 7 months.
Yeah, like when you got a nurse coming to your house to change your bedpan because you're playing that game.
Oh shit!
Somebody's feeding you. You're like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, moving over to another topic. I don't really like these topics, and I like this podcast we're doing here This is how I want to be. We're talking more about actual games. I do want to mention this, the Slim. They had some things pop up for it. It's not going to supposedly have a Blu-ray, a 4K Blu-ray player. It's basically looks like the same fucking PlayStation, just it's not pointy. You guys agree or?
Looks like a doormat.
Yeah, well, I think this one looks like a door stopper. That looks like a doormat. I agree with you.
It looks like what Sony did with the PS3. You remember how they, like the first PS3 revision, they removed a lot of shit from it. It pretty much stayed in the same case, but then when it got down to like the third revision, they shrunk it a little bit and made it all plasticky looking. I think that's what they're doing with this right now. But I think that the lack of the UHD Blu-ray player is actually a tactical decision. That they're doing this because they know they have the Neo coming out and they don't want to take away from its thunder. They're going to sell this Neo on the UHD factor if it does have that in there. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to.
But what about with the Slim? The Slim's out right now with a 4K Blu-ray player. Like, that's what I'm saying. They don't.
Oh, with the Xbox, yeah. Well, because
probably because the Scorpio's going to come out later, and then they want to give everybody a chance to get.
Well, if you look at the Xbox One, the Slim, it's actually a modified system on chip. It's not the actual same chip that they put in the original X1. They actually modified some of the cluster units inside of it. So it's not the exact same chip. It's a modified chip of the original one. So I think they figured, well, if we're going to do all this engineering to the chip itself, why not, add a 4K decoder in it or something.
But it still gives them the edge right now.
Oh, of course, yeah, no doubt. But the thing is that Sony has is the games that people.
Yeah, they have the games.
I mean, I'm not trying to take jabs at the people on Xbox. I'm just saying, most people want to play the games on the Sony side. I don't know if it's, if it's any better.
You think, Poppy? You think Sony's got it unlocked with the games? They're like, well, we got the fucking games. Who cares about a fucking Blu-ray? That would be a trick Sony.
I think they sold consumers like worldwide. They convinced people, 50 million people, that the greatness came and they don't have to wait anymore or whatever. But me personally, I don't know. I haven't seen anything special because everything that they sell on PlayStation 4 that I can't get on X1, it comes on the PC. So it's like.
Are you a big fan of like the exclusives of Sony? Because I seen you had a PS3. You showed me your PS3 earlier.
Yeah.
Some of the JRPGs pop in.
Yeah, I'm an RPG guy. Like I told you, I'm an RPG geek. So yeah.
You had Heavy Rain though. I saw that.
Damn, Dave, you got some good vision.
Did you looking forward to Detroit? Their new up and coming.
Like I said, these games nowadays that come out like that, whenever they do come out, they trickle into the market. I have to jump on that because I know that one day that's going to end, and it's just a matter of time. Just like how, digital streaming is the new norm and physical copies are going to go away. I mean, all this stuff is changing. You got to take advantage of it while you can.
Yeah, I mean, streaming's going to be a huge thing when it comes to games. I know. The minute they get it right, when they got the newer games on there, it's going to be.
I'm just waiting for my Google Fiber, whatever.
But I'm saying, Sony. One thing you can't say. A lot of people say Nintendo's got the best exclusives, and they have a bigger.
Oh yeah, by far Nintendo.
They're more about the exclusive, but Sony. If I was to think of another company in mind, it would be Sony. They got a lot of exclusives.
They got a lot of mature exclusives, I would say. Like mature rated exclusives. I don't know if they're mature, but mature rated exclusives.
Like I loved Beyond Two Souls. Like I didn't get to play it till this generation, but I remember so many people were dogging that game. I don't know if it was Sony's last big game on the.
But you like those Telltale games, right? So you like games, those storytelling.
I loved Beyond Two Souls. It had gameplay in it. I loved that game. That game was just like everybody's like Heavy Rain's the best. I'm like, no, Beyond Two Souls is their best. I love that. That was just an awesome game.
So why didn't you like the Order then? It was pretty much.
I like the Order. I was the one sticking up for the Order.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I was one of the only few sticking up for the Order. Yep. I was one of them guys, and everybody else hated the Order. I don't know why. I would want an order too.
So what sold you on the order? What sold you?
I like the story. I like the story of it, and it didn't have a lot of gameplay, but I like the gameplay it had. I like werewolves. I like vampire. It would have had vampires in it next time. It actually had when you burn the vampires in it. It would have had that in the second one.
Yeah.
I liked the order. I didn't think it was a
better
bad game. It was short. That was my biggest problem with it. But I liked Rise.
Oh, wow.
I liked Rise, and that was short. That was my only problem with that. Rise was a good game too. Everybody dogged that one. I liked it.
It could have been better than Gears, man. It really could have.
Yeah,
No, it had the potential to it because the story and everything was.
Yeah, it was a good.
Punk.
We won't never see it again because it got so fucking bad back.
No, they're coming out with some other game. It's like weird. Like,
But
the game they're
that
making.
game sold very well for a new IP, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It sold more than 2 million, right?
Did
$1 million?
it?
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe. I mean, I heard.
But I don't know what the budget was. Maybe if the budget was like $150 million.
It might have been a lot because it was a good-looking game. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. But going back to the Slim, what do you guys think of it in general? Is it something
It's actually showing Sony's lack of giving a fuck about the PlayStation 4 original.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But what's the point?
It looks so cheap, man. I'm not gonna lie. This shit looks so fucking cheap.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I like this. I like my PlayStation right here. It's better looking than that. If that's truly it.
Well, they might phase out the old one. That one might be gone, and they might.
Oh, they are. Because it's more expensive. Yeah. Why would you keep making something that's more expensive?
That's what I'm saying. The new model. I don't like it. I like my old model. And if it don't have a 4K Blu-ray player, what's making me want to get that? Unless they make you get that.
People that are waiting for greatness all these years, they want to get something. They want to be able to get on a PS4. But they want a cheaper alternative. That's what this is going to be.
Oh, so it's just for a cheaper route, basically.
Like, this is what I think. Like, people are addicted to buying new and shiny things. So they come out with a Slim, and people go out and they get to buy a new PlayStation 4, and it's most likely cheaper for Sony to manufacture the console.
Absolutely.
So it's a win-win. It's cheaper for them to produce, and people like buying shit. So,
like, look at all the people buying the Slim, and then they're gonna buy the Scorpio. Like, why not just wait for the Scorpio?
Because it's a year away.
I noticed most people that bought the Slim already have Xboxes. You notice that?
Yeah.
And that's what they were counting on too.
I'll say one thing though, that fucking Gears of War fucking Slim, that thing looks nice. Like that looks.
I mean, it's like, I think that's what. I mean, that's just. I don't know. I think most like Xbox people, Xbox fans, fanboys, if you like, they have a tendency to continue to support their team, their green team, and I don't think that's any different with the Slim.
Two, not cutting this off. There was an announcement that Xbox. I don't know how true it is. It's a rumor. But some people told me it's right from the word of Microsoft that they're ending. This is the Scorpio. I think that'll be it for Xbox. What do you guys think on that?
No, Pops can explain that because that's what they call it. Pops calls corporate talk.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with that. Like, from the way the article was explaining it or how it was quoted was, they don't want to be in the generation race. They're not saying that they're out of the console business. I don't think they want to come out with Generation 9, and then you go through a 6, 7, 8 year cycle, and then Generation 10, another 5, 6, 7. They don't want to do that no more.
That's why they're doing what they're doing now.
Yeah, out of the
updating the hardware. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Windows 10. Microsoft already said that this is the last Windows 10. So that means that we're never going to get an operating system? Like, no, we're just going to keep updating this forever.
Get Windows 11 or Windows 10.1, whatever it's called. I agree. I think that essentially, if the market demands it, they're going to bring it. They want to keep their name in the household, and they have to get it. They have to target as many markets as they can to maintain their dominance. I mean, think about it. Microsoft is in everything. Skype, You know, they just bought this new Beam service, whatever you want to call it, whatever they call it, Beam.
Yeah.
You know, they own Bing, which owns Yahoo. You know, it's like all this fucking. They're getting into everything that they can because they want to own your living room. They want to own pretty much all your data, and gaming is no different. And I think that, like Thanos was just alluding to, generations that we come to know as generations are going to be classified in 5 or 6 or 7 year cycles. They're going to be releasing upgraded hardware like the iPhone. I think that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be doing the iPhone, Apple's upgraded model every year that they do. I think that's what's going to happen. Look at the Surface. I mean, the Surface brand. They do that shit. That's a $1,500, $1,600 machine. You know, it's a tablet.
Don't they come out like every year with those too?
And they come out with those every year. Why not take something that's worked? Consumers have become, like we were just saying, they want something fresh, shiny, new every year. And you know, even if it's an incremental upgrade, they're gonna buy it as long as they like what the content is bringing, as long as they, you know, it satisfies their needs or wants. You know.
All right, I can see. I could agree with that.
That's what they've done with the Cortana thing. Look at what they've done with Cortana. They put that shit on Windows.
Yeah,
and
they
vice
put
versa.
it on Xbox One too. They added it to Xbox One.
Yeah, they're integrating everything. People don't see this. I've seen this coming for a while now. They're integrating their entire ecosystem into one. You know, look at the Outlook. Look what they did with that. They basically now that you want a what do you call it, email account, you know, instead of Hotmail, now it's Outlook. Why? Because Outlook is a very powerful brand, right? So if you work in a business or you work in a professional setting like myself and others, you know what Outlook is, you know. So you know, you've grown to respect that, you know, that program, that email service, and so that's what they're going to do. They're going to integrate everything, and people are going to buy into just the entire Microsoft ecosystem, and they're going to upgrade it every year, I think. And they're going to make everything like look at the iPhones. You can go back and play games on the iPhone. You can play applications on the old iPhone several generations back, because everything's been upgraded incrementally. It's not a big, you know, all of a sudden they've changed the whole system on chip. They just incrementally upgraded everything slowly, but people are paying the same price, $6.99, $5.99, and as long as people are out there buying that stuff every year, they're going to keep doing that. Microsoft sees that. They're not stupid.
Yeah, I agree totally. Another thing I heard, Frozen told me earlier, PlayStation Plus will be being moved up in price.
Yep.
From
$60. It's gonna be $10 more.
$49.99 to $59.99. What do you guys think about that?
Good.
That's gonna be the price. People got to deal with it.
You're always going to be able to find it just a little bit cheaper.
No, but that's the thing. Did you ever notice with PlayStation versus Xbox Live, like PlayStation Plus? I can find Xbox Live cheap, but PlayStation Plus, that's hard to find fucking on sale like you do the Xbox Live.
I'm sure they'll do it.
But, I mean, it is going up. You have to deal with it. I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was going to go up a lot, and then I learned it's just the same as Xbox.
So if they charge you $120 a year, would you buy it? Would you get?
No, there'd be a limit. I wouldn't pay too much.
Why or why not?
Well, if it was $120 a year, no, I wouldn't pay that much to play online. No, that's way too much. I'd move to the other one, and the other one keeps doing it. I would probably start looking into PC.
I'll just stick with Nintendo because Nintendo doesn't charge.
I'm not giving them all my money just to give them my money when I know it don't cost them much to do what they're doing with that. You know, that's bullshit. You're paying to use other people's servers. Get the fuck out of here. I already paid for the game. Like, it's crazy. I look at it as a fee for you playing on their console, but I'm not looking at a ridiculous amount of money. I don't think you'll ever get up to $120. I could see it maybe going up to $70 one time, but that would be crazy. 80. That'd be nuts. But I think they just want to get what Xbox is getting. That's all. They see Xbox getting it, and that's what they want. Other than that, any games that you guys seen at Gamescom that you want to talk about? One I want to mention, I found interesting. Friday the 13th, they're finally making a game. I loved it on the NES back in the day, and I've been waiting for another horror game from an actual character. I was listening to something about the game. I heard somebody played this game 75 times and kill Jason once. I heard it's really hard to kill Jason, and it's all about like your campers, and then you can be Jason, and he has special abilities. It looks cool, but they don't put too much out in the game. It's going to be an indie game, but it's a day one buy for me. I saw something on that. The new Dishonored 2, that looks good. You can actually like fucking rip people in half. That looked cool. I didn't like what I saw of Prey. Did any of you guys see anything you liked of Gamescom or?
No, not really.
I saw Recore. That was really nice.
Oh, you like the Recore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
Recore's getting a lot of hype.
Yeah, because what else they got going on in Xbox? They need something. I hate to say it like that, but Recore looks like a good game. I'm interested in the Sea of Thieves whenever that's coming, but Recore is only 40. I might get it. There's a lot of games coming out in October that I want. So I don't know, but it sounds good. Then you got Forza Horizon 3 in September, which I'm going to be getting that. I like the Forza series. And you got NBA Live or NBA 2K17 coming, Mafia. A lot of good games coming. Let's get to our main topic. All right. I don't know. This topic right here kind of like came to a video. I did a video response. I was a little late on the whole Solid Rev thing, but I haven't felt like making videos or podcasts lately. I do everything very random lately because I just needed a break. It is what it is. But I did a late response because one of the YouTubers I watched, the Day Sean show, he did a response 2 days ago or yesterday or something like the day before yesterday. So I did a response to him and Solid Rev. And the whole thing I found funny with the whole argument of are you a loser for playing video games? That's all stuff I thought was thought of, years ago in the 90s. Now with everybody playing them, like we said in the beginning of the podcast, it's accepted. But one thing I found funny in his video, he said that he started gaming when he had his kid. And I'm not taking shots at Solid Rev or anything like that. I'm just saying a lot of these bigger YouTubers, if you listen to some of the stuff they say in their videos, they haven't been gaming long. And then my thing is, why do people run to these bigger YouTubers, like these guys that clearly are doing gaming on YouTube just to get people, I don't know. I see them doing, getting the newest game, talking about the newest game, but do they really like it like they say? Are they that big of a gamer as they have it looking like? What do you think, Thanos?
Ultimately, it comes down to the entertainment value, and the opinion piece. People are attracted to your opinions. It's not necessarily the game, or how long they've been gaming, because if you think about it and really analyze it, slice and dice it, if you will. Gaming is a pretty boring topic because there's only so much you can cover about a game that we already know about. So when you click on a video or IGN or GameSpot or whatever, you're looking for an opinion piece. And some people are really good at expressing opinions, and they do it in entertaining ways. So it's not necessarily just the game.
I'm just saying, what I'm trying to say.
You said it best, Dave, that here on YouTube, especially in this community, you could pretend to be whatever the fuck you want to pretend to be.
I told you that the other night.
Yeah, that's a real powerful statement, and a lot of guys do that on here.
They pretend.
Yeah, pretend to be something that they're just not.
Thanos, if you ever end up in in a place like jail, you'll be in there and you'll notice everybody's a lawyer. Everybody and their brother in there's a lawyer. Or you got some dudes, if you haven't seen them on the street, they can be whatever they want. They could have ties to the fucking mafia. Who knows? They could tell you that. And it's up to you if you want to believe them. But that's like on YouTube. Like, I come on my people. No, like, look, I come on here, I log in, make an account. You guys don't know me from Adam. Not one of you really know me in this, but what I told you. That's what I'm saying. You don't know me. I could tell you anything, but I'll tell you this about me. You can take it or leave it. I'm a real person. I've told a lot of people shit on my channel. I don't make up fucking fairy tales. But that's up to you to believe. You know, some of these guys get on here, with the point of this conversation, they make themselves look as a bigger gamer than they are. Problem I have it, why would people run to somebody's opinion that hasn't been gaming long? Why would you want that opinion of a game, him talking about a game that doesn't have much experience with a game? That's like me going to somebody and asking boxing tips that haven't even fucking been boxing long. Like, why would I ask this guy versus fucking Mike Tyson if I could talk to him? You know what I'm saying? That's my point.
It's just funny how a lot of these guys like to throw logic in your face, but everything about them is based on belief.
Yeah.
You know, so it's based on contradicting themselves. They're just too blind to see it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it does make sense to go look at someone like Ralph because you gotta think most gamers nowadays just started gaming themselves. They're not gonna want to listen to someone that's been gaming forever. They'll rather listen to somebody they can relate to. They can't really relate to someone like me who's been gaming ever since they were a kid. They're not probably even gonna understand half the shit I'm telling them. You know?
Well, I do agree with you on that, Grim, and and I'm not taking, no, this was no shots at Solid Rev. I don't think he's a bad YouTuber. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about his gaming, like he's not been gaming long, like the whole gaming thing. I'm not saying he does bad videos or anything like that. I never said that. I'm just, it's when I heard him say that, I've heard other shit like this from other bigger YouTubers, and I just don't understand why people run to them for, like, a gaming opinion. Like, why are these guys the gods of the crumb side? Like, what makes? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's where I'm lost on the whole thing.
Well, like I said, they're more relatable because it's just like I talk to people about certain games. Like I talk to people about the Grand Theft Auto series.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these people haven't played. Now I tell you, the only ones I didn't really play like that were like the original ones, but a lot of people didn't play those. The only one I played somewhat was 2. But the thing is like if I talk to you about Grand Theft Auto, and you didn't, the only one you played was 5, you're probably not gonna understand why I said that. Why I feel like another game is better, or why I like another game in the series, but you never even played the game.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand. But see, they'll rather talk to someone that's only played 5 or just agrees with them anyway, and they'll just rather talk to that person. That's just they want to hear the opinion of someone that thinks the same way as them. Seeing as most people in this community just started gaming.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, Grim? That most of these people in this community probably started gaming this last, I would say, PS3 generation.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people started gaming, and especially with the Call of Duty scene. If you listen to a lot of these people on YouTube, even the big Call of Duty commentators, they have like the same story. They're like, I never liked gaming. I got into gaming because I lost my job or something like that happened. I started playing Call of Duty. It's so many Call of Duty commentators that tell the same story. Either they just all stuck to the same story, or just there's some truth to it. A lot of people get into gaming when they had nothing to do. They started to play games and they just stuck with it and they like it. So a lot of people got into gaming last generation.
Yeah, but like me and you, Grim, know we've talked to a lot of people together, and we both talked to each other and said certain people that we've talked to, we know we could tell by talking to them they just started gaming, but they don't want to admit it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That, and you see that case, you see that time and time again on YouTube. People coming to make themselves look bigger, tell you some ridiculous thing that they've been gaming on something else, and that's the reason they don't know this or that, and not taking no shots at nobody, but you can tell who's a gamer and who's not a gamer.
Yeah.
I can talk because I game, I play games. I don't sit here and get the newest game just to sit here and talk about it. I'm buying games I like. I'm not gonna, like No Man's Sky. I'm not gonna buy a game I don't fucking like. It's just,
So you're saying
it's not gonna, I'll give things a chance, but if I know for sure I'm not gonna play that shit, I'm not wasting the money. Yeah, I never thought of it that way, Grim. You did, yeah, that's pretty good, man. Do you guys agree with Grim Pachi on that? Like his side of things? Or?
Because video games is not a courthouse. Video games is not a life and death situation.
Mm-hmm.
Video games is entertainment. So, in reality, we're all in the circus. It's just what type of clown are you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That's a good one. I like that.
it's just
It's good shit.
how well are you, how can you entertain your audience? Entertain your audience while gaining new ones, So maybe he's just really good at entertaining people and they find that attractive.
Now, you
Maybe.
said you liked weightlifting, right?
Yeah.
Thanos told me you're deeply into weightlifting. Okay,
Yeah.
so I know a lot about weightlifting. I'm not big no more, but I used to weightlift. It never got real big. My brother was like in magazines, and that's where I got a
Mhm.
lot of information and started weightlifting when I was in high school. I did it from 16 to 24, and then you guys know my problems. I got into bad stuff, and then that wasn't a thing to me no more. But I'm not a small dude. I'm 200 pounds. I'm not like a small dude by any means, but I'm not big either. Uh, in my eyes. But would you take advice from a guy that was weightlifting his whole life, knew all kinds of routines, knew everything, the ins and outs of weightlifting, to a guy that just started?
Well, with all the, with especially with bodybuilding and
Yeah.
the amount of drugs that are on the market, absolutely not. I would have to listen to someone with experience. That's not
Yeah.
even, that's to
That's
to
and
a
that's and
rookie.
that's. I just want to show that's the side I look at it when it comes to gaming. Maybe I shouldn't be looking at it like that. Maybe I'm taking it. Maybe I shouldn't be looking at gaming like that. But I look
Yeah.
at things like that. I just want to show you how I'm looking at things. I would take the advice of the weightlifter with experience that knows
Right.
what routines, how many reps to do on this body part, how you should do your triceps and biceps, your legs and
Yeah.
quads. I want to what I'm saying, like calves, like what day to do what. Like I'll take advice from somebody like that just got into the scene that probably don't know much more than I do. You know what I'm saying?
Dave, it's like arguing about who would win, Wolverine or Batman.
Yeah.
And I've
And the funny
seen,
the funny thing about that, one time they had Stan Lee or one of them saying, and they said none. They said they just do that to get people arguing. That's all it is.
yeah,
Every superhero could beat another one.
yes,
They could if they want to. Like they did the Marvel and DC crossover. I was looking at it. My brother is a big Marvel fan. I was just busting his chops. They had it where fucking Batman beat up Hulk. In reality, would Batman beat up Hulk? Like in most people's eyes, probably not. I love Batman. He's my favorite superhero, but he beat him up in that crossover. But my brother's like, no, the Hulk gets real mad. And he could be as strong as this and that and this. I mean, but it's all argument just to get people talking. I think it was Stan Lee that said that, just to get people going. Because another superhero will figure out how to beat him that way.
yeah. It's all like he said that a writer can make any superhero be any superhero. It's up to the writer. But like in that argument, who would win, Batman or Wolverine? It doesn't matter because in reality, both those characters don't even exist. It's not that serious, you know what I mean? But people make it very serious and they lose focus. It's like when you're watching a movie, you never want to ask, hey, who's holding the camera? You're so engaged into the movie, you never ask who's holding the camera, or why they're holding the camera that way, or that's a great shot, because you're so engaged into the movie. Um, Same thing with the comic books, it doesn't matter. It's just it's all based on fiction. It's all based on imagination.
Yeah. Just a bunch of nerds going at it, man. That's what it's all about.
Well, like nowadays with superhero shit, look how many people are into superheroes. Like you have all kinds of people. Like, remember comics fucking died in the '90s? They like just,
Yeah, I used to collect the hell out of those things. That's
now it's all like back, like it never left.
That's because the movie industry
The movies
generated. Yeah, they brought
interest.
back an yeah. There's countless people.
Like people are like, oh, what's Deadpool? What is that?
Yeah, right. Like they don't know anything about
even
these
on the
superheroes.
TV shows, you got Flash now, you got Daredevil. Like
I think they're overdoing it with these TV shows, man. I'm not gonna lie. They kind of waters down some of the hero. Like I don't want to get into like comic book stuff, but I can see how it can water it down.
No, the better thing about the TV shows, they have a longer time to tell the story. That's why I think they're better. And they're not bad looking. Supergirl's good special effects for fucking TV. Flash is getting better. Daredevil.
So what about Power Rangers then?
Yeah, but Daredevil's not like. No, Daredevil looks good. If you guys I
There's
saw
people, there's
Daredevil.
people all over the world that love the Power
Yeah,
Rangers,
that
man.
was.
See, Poppy, you're thinking of Power Rangers. Now, the new stuff nowadays looks good on TV. It does.
No, I
Like,
remember back in the days of Power Rangers, they're like kicking the buildings.
no,
of
no,
cardboard
no. It
boxes.
don't look like that no more. Like, Broad on Flash, he looked really good.
But I thought that shit was hot shit back then, man. I was like, nah, this shit was
Well,
hot.
that's the thing people don't understand. I'm not trying to make this a
Godzilla,
movie
they're bringing
podcast.
back Godzilla, Ultraman, all this shit, man.
Well, Poppy, back in our day when that Power Ranger shit came out, it looked cool. Nowadays, people watch that and they're like, "Oh, it looks terrible." But
because you use your imagination. Back then, they didn't have all that shit. So you had it's like the games. You know, games have gotten prettier and nicer and cinematic, but the imagination, the immersion level has gotten. I think you've been taken away from it because you don't really get to immerse yourself in it, man. Like that was awesome, man. Back in the old days, man, they had old graphics, sprite graphics, hand-drawn characters and shit. You know, it had a little bit more heart to it and soul. But like, that's what I'm saying. All these comic books now are being realized in television and stuff, and I think some of it does get watered down because of that. Because they're doing everything for you. They're realizing all the all the cinematics and graphics for you without you having to use your imagination.
Yeah,
And
but it falls under this, Poppy. And I can't say this necessarily for me because I like it all. Like, I've been reading comics now. I used to read my brother's comics. My brother had the first X-Men, the first Spawn. He had it all. My cousin took them all and sold.
Where does he live?
No, he had a lot. He was heartbroken when that shit happened. But I used to go in his comics and fucking read them all, and he hated it. He didn't like me touching them, but he had those boxes, the comics come in.
Yeah.
He had them
Put
all
the rubber gloves on, son.
But I remember looking at, he had Thanos on there, and he used to but he's like, if I never need to know anything about a comic, I just call him. He knows all that shit. But it's popular again. They revamped the whole thing. Now people are watching shows like Flash and all that. Now you got the movies too going really big, the Avengers.
It goes back to that Pokemon Go, like I was saying. People that never played Pokemon in their lives play that shit. Now they're addicted to it. They went back and played the games on the DS. Yep, that's what it's the same theory.
Like I said, back in the day you had trends. Now it's like whatever. It don't matter what the fuck it is. Like everybody's doing anything. It don't matter. That's how nowadays is. There's no trend no more. Nothing.
So did you guys watch any of the Man of Steels and the Batman versus Superman? Anybody watch those?
I did.
Who thought they were bad? Who in here thought those were bad renditions?
I like them. I'm a DC fan.
Anybody?
I thought they were all right, and then they weren't the best.
Anybody dislike them? Because I personally went in and watched those movies without any high expectations, so I wasn't disappointed in any way. I felt like I did get my money's worth from them, and did they live up to all the hype that they were getting pre-release? I don't know. I don't think they did, but I think they were worthwhile watching, and everybody should experience them for themselves. Obviously not, having their expectations too high.
DC, the thing with DC, they're very, like, when it comes to critics, they're very hard on DC. Marvel, that's not the case. It's just DC gets bad feedback.
Except for Spider-Man. Excuse me.
Well, one thing they'll never take away: Superman is the most valuable fucking superhero there is.
Oh shit! Now you're gonna get into
never
some
take
fucking
that away.
debates.
And I don't know.
People
My
love
bad.
Batman and Superman.
No, I looked it up the other day. Batman is my bad, but superhero, you got Iron Man's number 2 that I've seen.
Well, Iron Man's now a girl now, Dave. They have a female Iron Man now.
What?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's popular. I think the superhero shit's going to go on for a little while. I think it is a little fad going on right now, but it's going to be a long fad because there's so much shit coming out for it. And you might finally see these movies that people always wanted to see. Like, you're going to see the Avengers and the upcoming Avengers that a lot of people wanted to see, the Infinity Wars. You're going to see the Justice League on the big screen. That's going to be fucking cool. But yeah, not sidetracking, but yeah, going back to the whole thing with the bigger YouTubers, my biggest problem is I see some of these guys get on here, act like they're fucking something they're not. They don't care. I'm mainly too talking about people get on here, act like a gamer that they're not a fucking gamer, and build themselves up to be something they're not. And I couldn't see somebody like me, somebody like Grim, somebody like Thanos, Poppy, and Frozen can clearly see through them, but some people can't. They buy into the bullshit. Just saying. But any more on this topic or anything else you guys want to add? I thought this was a great podcast. It was a good gaming podcast. I thought we talked about games, and that's what mainly this podcast will be about. And like how everybody got to talk except Frozen. Frozen didn't want to talk, I guess, today.
No, I'm playing Street Fighter. You don't want to hear me cursing, flipping out, and yelling
okay.
on the mic. I'm muting myself.
But I like when everybody can talk. That's like Jordan asked in the comments section, what's this podcast about? It's about people talking about games and actually you can hear them. And I just thought the Dave's had enough show. I carried it on too long. At one point I started letting everybody in, and I felt like if I didn't keep doing that, I always felt that was the podcast to come to if you wanted to be in a podcast. I always gave people a shot. And most people would turn you down, wouldn't give you a chance other than people like Poppy and some other people I know. And I just couldn't take, all them people in a podcast, and I felt bad when I told people no, and I just decided to scrap that shit. I'll let people come on here, but it's only going to be a 5 limit. That's the most. I'm not doing no 8, 10 people. And one thing also, Google Hangouts will be no more than the 13th, right, Thanos?
Like they're not doing Google Hangouts anymore?
Google Hangouts is coming to an end.
They're going to cancel it, yep.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
We could do like a live podcast on PSN, like you get into a party and you live stream the game.
Yeah, I already know what to do. I already know how to counteract it.
Yeah, I'm going to probably go the Discord. I was talking to Thanos and Afterlife. I might have to do that because they showed me like I could just record with OBS. But I tried the whole PlayStation thing before, and it just don't work well. You don't get the same type of like I just didn't think people took it as a podcast. They took it more of me playing a game and I was in a chat. Like this people like to watch it like this, or we'll figure out something.
Like I'm happy that it's going away because it crossed my mind like, well, maybe now people can finally be fucking creative with their podcast. But I think in reality, most people are just going to end up going right back to Skype.
Well, people want easy stuff, Thanos. It's just how it's always been. Convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like people they don't want to work to do. And I'm like that. I'm talking about myself. I'm one that if I had to do too much shit to make a video, guys, I probably wouldn't be doing YouTube. This thing right here, why people like it so much, everybody can jump in, we can all talk, and it uploads for you. It goes right up to YouTube, and that's what people like.
I mean, look at Black Bond. I mean, he just sits in front of his computer.
No, don't take shots at nobody.
No, I'm just saying. Look how big he's grown. It's not a shot.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it.
Come on, man. Look, next gen, 720. He sits right there in front of his computer. Nothing flashy, nothing out of the ordinary. There's not. It's. Listen, YouTube is just that. YouTube to the community. That's it. You go ahead and present the video however you want. Black and white, color, full color, HD, Ultra HD. 60 frames, whatever you want to do, it's up to you, man. It's if your resources allow it, it's
well, Skype was do you guys see people resorting back to Skype?
Yeah,
so like
how does that work?
Well, I mean, that's the problem. Even back then, like a lot of people would just drop calls, or the sound quality would just go. I mean, it could go fine for 10 minutes, and then that sound quality, and you get that disconnection. And then it comes right back up. Microsoft haven't improved Skype, they haven't, none of the features are modern. None of the features are modern. None is up to date.
What's the new, there is something they're replacing it with, YouTube Live. What is that?
Just YouTube Live, the way you would just hit live and start broadcasting the gameplay or whatever.
Oh, so I can't get people in on that, right?
You probably could, but as far as face talking and all that stuff, no. It's just.
Are they're really getting away with all that? I mean, they're not.
They have to have, they're not
gonna have an alternative. Is that all? I mean,
no, they're getting rid of Hangouts completely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they want to do away with Google, right?
Yeah, they're gonna stick to one service, and that's YouTube Live.
Yeah. I'll figure out something, guys. Like I said, I'm sure I'll have a podcast on Google Hangouts one more time before.
Or you could do the
they
Twitch
get rid
thing.
of it.
People are doing that Twitch thing. They're doing some crazy stuff on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm not. I do Twitch on my Xbox, and that's the extent of that. I mean, I'll figure out something. I will have a podcast still, no matter what. I'll figure out something because I'm sure Thanos or somebody will help me with record OBS to Discord or something. We'll do something. We'll figure out something. But thank you guys for joining the first Dave's Gamers Anonymous. Thanos, thank you, buddy. Thanos Salvatore.
Yes, thank you for the invite. Much appreciated, Dave.
Much appreciated. Poppy2K Gaming, thank you, buddy.
Appreciate you inviting me. Thanks.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, King Pachi, as always.
No problem.
And Frozen Magma, the man of very few words.
Thanks a lot. Raging in Street Fighter.
All right. Thank you, guys. Later, YouTube.